If the season ended today, Ryan Fitzpatrick would be your league MVP. And if Andy Reid only had to coach against the AFC West, he'd have 9 Super Bowls. Detroit would like the Lions to stop embarrassing themselves on national television. I'm sure Detroit would like a lot of things, like a functioning economy. But you can't always get what you want, Detroit. How will Ben Roethlisberger's career end? Will he be toppled over like a Confederate statue? Or will he be hit and then burst into several large pieces like a Lego man? Or, this is my personal favorite, hot dog coma. There's no way you can tell me Ben Roethlisberger's cholesterol is any good. Let's be honest, you're lazy and don't like spending money. That means the SeatGeek app is perfect for you. Use the promo code WTFootball to get $20 off your next purchase. The entire app is designed to make buying tickets as easy and cheap as possible. Imagine that. SeatGeek, you don't even have to put your beer down. Welcome to What the Football. I'm your generic, non-threatening host, TJ Carpenter, and this week Ari and Josh are going to debate who has the most handsome NFL man crush. But first, your top 10 stories of the week. Number 10. Aaron Rodgers died on Sunday versus the Bears. Khalil Mack did things to the Packers in the first half you have to be legally 18 to watch. But then something miraculous happened, and Aaron came back from the grave, possessed by the ghost of Brett Favre, and beat the Bears. How do I know that he was possessed by the ghost of Brett Favre? Well, I'll tell you. 1, that was a borderline irresponsible throw that turned into the play of the game. And 2, listen to this.
What was the injury?
My knee.
Sounds pretty familiar.
That's why for knee and elbow support, I choose Copper Fit.
Yeah. Either he's possessed by a copper fit poltergeist, or Aaron Rodgers is on enough drugs to kill a horse. Not John Elway, like a real, actual horse. Apparently even Tom Brady is saying that Aaron Rodgers is the GOAT. And guess what? That means he is. Those are the GOAT rules. The only person who can unilaterally appoint a GOAT is another GOAT. GOAT rules. Number 8. Chiefs fans are losing their minds over Patrick Mahomes after he threw for 4 touchdown passes against the LA Galaxy. I mean, Chargers. Look, Chiefs fans don't have much to hang on to. Sadness, really. Lost to the Colts in the playoffs? Look, much like the Colts, what constitutes a banner egging is a low bar in Kansas City. Can't we just all collectively agree to let them have this one? Number 6. If it weren't for the National Football League, I wouldn't know how to raise my children. And you better believe my kids are going to know how to form tackle. Open up your hips, Tommy.
Go, you maggots! Kill!
Thankfully, America's moral compass was pointed back towards the field on Sunday, where it belongs. We saw ejections and penalties for flagrantly tackling. Yes, that's right, you heard correctly. The NFL is teaching us all a valuable lesson, which is, kids, the rules are bullshit. You're going to get screwed over whether you did anything wrong or not. And given the fact that you're a defender whose name I don't know, I can guarantee you're going to get blamed for doing your job too well. Number 3. Derek Carr forgets how his controller works in Madden and throws 3 picks against the Rams. Derek Carr looks like if Mountain Dew Code Red were a person. What was Derek Carr thinking on that throw? I'll tell you what he was thinking. Nickelback is my favorite band. Maybe he was distracted by which Papa Roach t-shirt he was going to wear at his post-game press conference. Who knows? And number 1, the Browns got off to their best start since 2004 with a tie versus the Pittsburgh Steelers led by human hot dog mascot Ben Roethlisberger. Watching the Browns shank away certain victory in the rain is actually worse than watching them lose. Add this to the fact that the Browns got to watch Tyrod Taylor go 15 for 40 while their number 1 overall pick rode pine, and the fact that the guy who was taken 2 picks later had the best rookie debut of any quarterback since Tom Brady. God. Now let's take a look at our SeatGeek big board. It does not change all season long because it is an infallible text like the Bible or Phil Steele's football preview magazine. And we changed it some more. Damn it! Le'Veon Bell is still in a contract dispute because of the franchise tag. And I guess we're representing that with the Monopoly guy. Nick Foles is getting his second start of the season, making him the first Lord of the Rings character to ever do that. And it would appear as though Ryan Fitzpatrick and Jared Cook have taken control of the top of the big board, which is terrifying, honestly. Check in every week with our SeatGeek big board and check out the SeatGeek app as well. All value is in the eye of the beholder. Just make sure you're beholding all the tickets available with SeatGeek. Every fan base is unique. If you're a Steelers fan, you wave that terrible towel. If you're a Seahawks fan, being a part of the 12th man is a way of life. And if you're a Bills fan, you drink dangerous amounts of alcohol and then plunge the most vulnerable parts of your spine into a table. Here's our own resident meatball Camaro head, Joshua Brisco, with more on the NFL's finest fan bases.
Hey, I'm Joshua Brisco, and if you don't follow me on Twitter, then I won't be able to eat this week. We asked you on the WatchMojo community tab for the best fan base in the NFL and your reasons why. We put out a poll and invited you to comment, which you did in massive proportions. According to the poll, 18% of you are delusional, 11% of you are self-obsessed and like bad weather, 11% of you are self-obsessed and like slightly better weather, and 5% of you respect the commitment that will lead you to jump through a burning table for Nathan Peterman. No! But a whopping 55% of voters said that the best fan base in the NFL was not mentioned on our poll, so we opened up the comments, and here are your top 10 reasons why your fan base is the best in football. Number 10, the top 3 comments agree that the Eagles should be represented, but I have some bad news. Here at What the Football, we like Santa Claus, so you're disqualified. Number 9, I think literally 1 of 3,000 comments suggested the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I like it simply because they have a pirate ship in their stadium that shoots off cannons. Also, it takes a very loyal fan base to turn a blind eye to the fact that your quarterback is a woman groper. You know what I'm talking about, Pittsburgh. Number 8, the Chargers, because, quote, we're always shooting ourselves in the foot. We moved to another city, and yet I still exist. Hey, man, listen, I tell you this because I care about you. That's not fandom. That's Stockholm Syndrome. You're free now. Number 7, the Raiders, because where else can you go to watch football and get stabbed? This is a great point, and as far as I know, there are only 2 options, Oakland or my basement. Number 6, quote, the New England Patriots have the greatest fans. They're always behind their team. Even when the odds are against them, they are still supporting their team. When have the odds ever been stacked against the Patriots? You're always favored in literally everything. I oughta. Number 5, Manchester City FC, a real football team rather than a load of blokes running into each other and chucking the ball to make about 5 yards. I included this one just so I could say the phrase, a load of blokes. Number 4, Cowboys fans, because I respect a fan base that sticks with their team through the toughest of times. Listen, man, I respect that too, but your team actively chooses to continue to employ Jason Garrett. I say that you and Chargers fans, or the Chargers fan, can go find new teams if you would like. Also, your owner is a lizard person. Number 3, the Kansas City Chiefs. Just because. Number 2, a whole bunch of you said Packers fans, and I get it due to your unwavering loyalty and your ability to go stand outside in the cold for long periods of time. I'm also a big fan of a full head of cheese, but here's the thing. You haven't had a bad quarterback since 1991. You ran one of the 10 greatest quarterbacks of all time out of town to make room for one of the 3 greatest quarterbacks of all time. You seem like great fans, and I totally respect Lambeau, but you're spoiled. Also, there are a lot of you, so you're number 2. Number 1, it has to be the Cleveland Browns. Here's why. The Packers haven't had a bad quarterback since 1991. The Browns haven't had a good quarterback since 1991. That was the last time that Bernie Kosar started all 16 games for Cleveland. Remember 2007? That felt like maybe a recent bright spot. It kind of was, but it was led by Derek Anderson. He won 10 games. He went to the Pro Bowl. That was their first 10-win season since 1994, and they haven't won even 8 games since then. I was born in 1994. Also, Hugh Jackson went 1-31 over the last 2 seasons, and they brought him back for a 3rd year. Your team had Bill Belichick in the mid-90s, and he couldn't make Cleveland work. Listen, Browns fans, I legitimately hope, for your sake, that Baker Mayfield ends up becoming a future Hall of Famer. My prediction, if he did it anywhere other than Cleveland, he'd probably have a pretty good shot. Who'd I miss? Why am I an idiot? Why are you jealous of my incredible fashion sense? Leave your comments right here on What the Football, and then go jump through a burning table.
All right, everybody, it's time for our panel. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves victorious. Joining us, as always, from Kansas City, getting ready for the next season of Queer Eye, it is Joshua Brisco. And permanently designated for assignment in Dallas, it is Ari Temkin. Gentlemen, how are you?
Josh, I thought you were straight.
I am. Is that a problem?
Jumping right into our topics, gentlemen. Quarterbacks under 25. If you had to start a franchise with one of them, who would it be?
Definitely Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah, no question. Jimmy G. I mean, think about it, guys. If I owned a team, I imagine I'd trust Jimmy G to be a real locker room leader. He would just be so good for that locker room. Think about all that locker room stuff with the changing clothes and the showering and the spandex.
Ari, I don't know how to tell you this, but Jimmy Garoppolo is older than 25. He's 26, and I think that your obsession with him, in particular your obsession with his physical appearance, is a little disturbing.
TJ, once you're over 30, they're all younger men.
All right, well, Josh, do you have anything to admit or add to this discussion?
I'll admit that I've often been told I bear a passing resemblance to Sam Darnold, but other than that, I will say that I will not take Sam Darnold for this question. Under 25, I'll take Patrick Mahomes. They've both shown some really good things, but I like the fact that Patrick Mahomes has double the sample size of Sam Darnold, and for that reason, Mahomes is my guy.
Well, I hate to say this to you, but Mahomes has only played in 2 games. So granted, that's true. Like, Deshaun Watson's played like 10. What are you talking about?
No, Deshaun Watson, not on the table for me. I'm only picking from quarterbacks who could physically throw the football through the torso of a defender and leave like a Frosty the Snowman-shaped hole.
All right, moving on. Speaking of Frosty the Snowman, Matt Patricia is a big problem in Detroit. Also, John Gruden's a big problem in Oakland. Who needs to be more worried about the future of their franchise and the coaching position? Detroit fans or Oakland fans?
Raiders fans should be terrified. I mean, John Gruden doesn't even know that suntan lotion exists, and he traded their best player to Chicago. The Bears don't know what they're doing. How do they look like the smarter ones here? What's that old saying? The TV adds 10 pounds to your brain?
That's not the old saying, but I'm with you. Josh, what about you?
I do think the Raiders are going to regret giving $100 million to a vengeful tomato, but I will say that Lions fans should be more worried. Not only do assistant coaches from the Belichick tree never turn into good head coaches, Matt Patricia also keeps what appears to be a pen behind his ear to use with his laminated play sheet. It's actually a pencil. Pencils can't write on laminated play sheets. I'm afraid that Matt Patricia might be an idiot.
Let's talk a little bit about football. It's under attack once again, this time by a Category 4 hurricane off the coast of Carolina. Who's coming to the rescue? None other than Captain Football himself, Danny Cannell, saying, hey, what's the big deal? It's a hurricane. Why are we canceling football? What are you, a bunch of wusses? What do you have to say, Ari?
TJ, you got to admire Danny Cannell's commitment to climate change denial. But, I mean, he's right, isn't he? I mean, who's to know what's going to happen with this storm? You know, is there any way to really know what's going to happen with this storm? So, I mean, he's right. Let's just not overreact. Let's just start canceling football games all willy-nilly. I mean, the rest of the country loves football. So, a couple of states are hit by storms, and all of a sudden we're canceling football games everywhere. Thank you, Danny Cannell, for standing up for the rights of football-watching citizens everywhere.
Well, you know, if there's anything that speaks integrity, it's the fact that you refuse to change your opinion in the face of overwhelming statistical and factual evidence. Josh, what do you have to say?
Personally, I'm not terribly worried about Hurricane Florence. However, right behind it, Hurricane the Machine. That one could really F us up.
Well, I agree with you there. Machine definitely sounds more dangerous than Florence. Gentlemen, great panel as always. Thank you very much for coming on.
No, TJ, I will not buy a Bible from you.
What about a Feel Steel college football preview magazine?
No, I would vote for you in a very small local election.
Thank you. I'll take it.